Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Stellar. Today we're going to be talking about pretty much our favorite Assassin's Creed protagonists. Today we have me, Derek.
W.
Ian.
And I'm Anisha.
Hi, Anisha.
Hey, Ian. How's it going?
Hi, Ian.
Let's save the pleasantries for later.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Ian, since you had the idea to save the pleasantries for later, you can start first.
Okay, my favorite is Connor from Assassin's Creed 3 because I haven't played a lot of Assassin's Creed games, but the ones I have played, Connor stands out the most to me because he is just like a giant brute of a dude. Like, especially by the end of the game where he's like rocking his fucking like Native American mohawk and you just like mow people down, and he feels like the biggest assassin, like the one that's like doing the most damage.
Yeah, I actually watched a lot of interviews about him, and apparently they made him to be like that because they were like, yeah, we had the super stealthy Altair, we had like the super fast Ezio, but he's just like, they wanted like a tank in Connor. So it's like they made his animation styles where it's just like he can just mow through enemies. He's just super vicious. It's just the greatest thing.
Yeah. Plus, I just love like his backstory and like his character, like as a whole. Like you were telling me, Anisha, how he has to like kill his dad, the Templar dude, at the end. I never actually played that DLC, but that's just pretty dope.
Yeah. A lot of the Assassin's Creed games, they kind of suffer for not having a lot of character development. And I know that Connor got a lot of criticism because people said he didn't have development. But I feel like his development was more nuanced, as in, and also not nuanced because he's just getting screwed by everyone else that's around him.
Yeah.
So it's just like everyone's like, he's just so angry. It's just like, he has the right to be angry. He's Native American, lied to by every person he's ever encountered that wasn't Native American.
Yeah.
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 Fair.
Just not a fun time for Connor.
Yeah, and when I was playing Assassin's Creed 3, like I enjoyed Connor, I enjoyed the gameplay, I enjoyed it all. It's it's what they did with the present day stuff that was really kind of bummed me out the most. But
Who plays Assassin's Creed for the present day stuff?
yeah.
Everyone did until, you know.
Yeah.
Till Dustin's like dead. I touched a rock and died. But Connor's dope. I liked the like sending the assassins out system.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like Ezio is like the quintessential, if not just for the amount of games he got. I mean, he had 2 Brotherhood and Revelations to really flesh out him as a story, which is unfair to Connor and unfair to like what was the English ones? The Frye twins.
Yeah.
Like it's unfair to them that they only get like a game. Ezio gets like this whole trilogy, right? But I like Ezio. I like where he started off as like a cocky, like dumb assassin trying to figure it out, but all he wanted was revenge. So like this like sizzled veteran. Like it's pretty cliche, but I enjoyed it. I also like Brotherhood in particular for its like again using the assassins in battle, those kinds of things.
I feel like Ezio had a lot of room to breathe because they didn't have to condense all of his story into one game. Like by the end of the part 1, he's still the same cocky, brash. Like he's slightly more mature, but it's just they had 3 games to stretch out his character development, and it worked really well. Like it never like tried to like bite them in the back or anything. It's just like it's a tried and true system, but the way they did it and the way that you got connected to Ezio, it's really effective.
And I think you look at those games took time to make.
Yeah.
Games post Ezio were like pumped out every year, which again they learned from because nobody was buying these games anymore, and so they took a year off to build whatever game is going to come out this year. But
Yeah.
I really like Ezio, if again nothing else, for just the amount of time they spent in the Italian Renaissance and in like what his story was.
Okay. My favorite assassin didn't actually become assassin in like a main game. Autowale, the Trinidadian assassin Mac Daddy. Say Mac Daddy, but he only appeared as a playable character in Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, but he was one of the best supporting characters in Assassin's Creed Black Flag because he was kind of the one who kind of helped the main character Edward get set straight. Because the entire time Edward was just this person who was just like, oh man, gonna be a pirate, gonna get all the gold. And Autowale started with him like that, but when they first encountered the assassins, it spoke to Autowale's like his own morals because he was an escaped slave that freed himself, and then this Assassin's Creed that was just focused on freedom. he fell in love with it, and he kind of fell out of love with Edward's pirate lifestyle to the point where in the game he just kind of abandons Edward. He's just like, Edward, I'm just not gonna watch you die. I'm gonna follow my own path, which he did. In the Freedom Cry DLC, he pretty much went to chase after the slave ship that caught him and put him into slavery, all the way to Haiti, and where he was releasing slaves all throughout Haiti.
That's really awesome.
Yeah,
actually.
it's like the coolest like story. And the thing is, a lot of the other assassins have a lot of vices. This is one of the only ones he was just generally a good person.
Yeah.
There's usually some shady, like,
Yeah.
underground, like, here's all this good stuff, and, like, oh, here's this one really bad thing, like in Assassin's Creed 1 with, like, the head Templar, or the head assassin guy trying to steal the Apple of Eden, like,
Yeah.
good intentions, but kind of morbid, like, reasons and why they were doing it. Also, for Autowale, he gets that, like, kind of trilogy to himself in an interesting way, because he starts off in Black Flag, then his own Freedom Cry, and then he ends in Rogue. You know what I mean? So, like, he's got this, like, trilogy in and of itself.
And the thing, Autowale is one of the only characters that has like definite connections and effects on other protagonists. Like Connor, he has a direct connection to Connor through his father and grandfather. And there's books in Assassin's Creed 3 where they mention Autowale and Edward Kenway, and it's just like he was such an important character in the colonial mythos of the Assassin's Creed universe that it's just he pretty much helped inspire the French Revolution with Connor. It's just the greatest amount of like care and stuff that was put into this character that had such a far-reaching impact beyond his realm of existence.
Yeah, and like I would argue that he's relatively like the Ezio of like that colonial period, because he's so integral and he's so like he's got his hand in everything, and he's working to build like this like 1700s like assassin order, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was also one of Shay's mentors in Rogue at the beginning, if you remember, before he gets killed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
R.I.P.
it's a
R.I.P.
good job at Autowale freeing those slaves, though. That's the real MVP. Actually. So for me, I'm gonna go with the most recent Assassin's Creed game, and my favorite protagonist would be the Frye twins. You have Evie and Jacob Frye. You can't really choose just one, because unfortunately, like with the game focusing on two of them, you only get so much time with each in terms of story. Like you can do certain side things with the different protagonists, but altogether you have to like combine both Jacob and Evie. And so they're both kind of haunted by like their family, because they come from like a lineage of assassins. But you have Jacob, who just wants to act immediately, and then you have Evie's like, no, the more the traditional assassin, taking a step back, trying to do more stealth missions and things like that. So I think that their development as both assassins and as siblings are actually really important to the series as a whole, because you get to see like this really like internal to family, like in the same generation. Like you get that with the Kenways, you get, Edward's the grandfather, and then you have Haytham, who's a Templar, and then you got Connor. But it's like with the Frye twins, they're experiencing it together, and they both have to realize that, if they want to lead their own like band of assassins, they kind of have to both do some maturing and some development and accept, Evie has to accept that Jacob's qualities are, like, they add value in their own way, and Jacob has to, acknowledge that Evie's stealth and sometimes inaction actually has led to success. So
it's one of my favorite things about Syndicate and like the Frye twins is that the game itself kind of married the past and the present of Assassin's Creed into one game. As in, like, Evie, her entire gameplay was kind of a nod to Altair. She's the super stealthy one. Her attacks, while they might not have the most like hit to it, she kind of lends herself to just pure stealth gameplays. While Jacob is pretty much just a lesser tank than Connor. Like he can just bull rush through an entire group of people. Like he's just a heavy hitter. While it's just two things that the Assassin's Creed universe kind of lets you do, just mush into one game. And it's kind of really impressive that they were able to pull it off.
And single player only.
Yeah, and it's single player only. You have a choice to play either characters within the side missions. They each had their own like specific missions, but it was to the point where it all depended on the person who was playing it, which one you wanted to consider more of a protagonist than the other one.
I personally chose Evie because I just like the idea of a female protagonist assassin. but I mean, like, obviously both are important to the plot of the game anyways, but it's just like when I was like freeing the different bureaus, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have Evie do it.
I also like playing Evie because there's only so much brash assassin I can take.
Yeah.
And he was just the epitome of brash assassin.
He really
You
was.
get like a lot of brash assassins.
Yeah.
Like that's you get like no shortage of that like throughout the games.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean,
Ezio, well, Ezio starting out.
Even to the end, he still would pick a fight.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is
definitely,
true.
Yeah.
Desmond was a brash assassin, even though he died.
Brash kind of, but brash in like a stupid sense.
Yeah.
Like you're just real dumb. You know what I mean?
Very, very reckless. Very, yeah.
Edward, the pirate, who just like devil may cry attitude. And Arno was super brash.
Which one was Arno?
Unity.
In Unity.
So the one that no one played.
Yeah.
That was actually the most recent one I
Don't,
played.
don't forget about the eye glitch where their faces are gone
Yes.
and just the
God,
eyes.
that was so creepy.
There you go. Now you know.
So now we just gave a preview to our next seller. The worst part, our next seller would be the worst parts of the Assassin's Creed universe.
Oh, I can do that.
Ubisoft generally.
Okay.
What the heck is Uplay? Why is it Uplay?
Okay,
Glitch.
so that's all we have for today. Who's your favorite protagonist? What's your favorite thing about the Assassin's Creed universe? Comment in the comment section below and see you guys next time. This has been Derek.
W.
Ian.
Indonesia.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
My favorite's the Russian one.
Who what?
The Russian one. Orlov or whatever.